Zimbabwe is preparing to host the Southern African Development Community, or SADC, summit. This summit brings together leaders from 16 Southern African nations, serving as a platform for regional cooperation and integration. This year's summit carries significant weight. As Zimbabwe's political climate is tense and economic challenges persist, the summit will be a critical test for the nation. The summit offers Zimbabwe a chance to showcase progress and highlight its commitment to regional stability. However, the event also draws attention to Zimbabwe's human rights record. The government faces scrutiny from international observers, and domestic critics are also raising their voices. The summit's agenda includes discussions on economic development and regional security. Zimbabwe's ability to manage these complex issues is being closely watched. Zimbabwe has a complex history with law enforcement during political events. Previous elections and protests have been met with varying degrees of force. The government has often employed security forces to maintain order, which has sometimes led to accusations of human rights abuses. The use of force by law enforcement has drawn international criticism. Human rights organizations have documented cases of excessive violence. Opposition groups have accused the government of using law enforcement to stifle dissent. The government maintains that its actions are necessary for national security and argues that it is upholding the rule of law. The upcoming SADC summit presents a challenge for law enforcement agencies. They must balance security concerns with the need to respect human rights. The government will be under pressure to ensure the safety of summit attendees and to allow peaceful demonstrations. How law enforcement responds will be closely scrutinized. Section 3. SADC's potential response, a balancing act. The Southern African Development Community, or SADC, plays a crucial role in promoting stability and democracy in the region. With a history of mediating conflicts and upholding human rights, SADC's response to the situation in Zimbabwe is likely to be multifaceted. It will aim to balance its commitment to Zimbabwe's sovereignty with its responsibility to uphold regional principles. SADC may choose to engage in quiet diplomacy, using its influence to encourage the Zimbabwean government to respect human rights. Additionally, the organization might issue public statements calling for restraint from law enforcement agencies. The actions of SADC will be influenced by various factors, including the severity of the situation in Zimbabwe and the consensus among member states. The response to Zimbabwe's handling of the summit will have significant implications. It will send a message about the organization's commitment to human rights and will also shape its relationship with the Zimbabwean government. Indeed, SADC faces a delicate balancing act, needing to address concerns while preserving regional unity. Section 4. International Spotlight on Zimbabwe. The SADC summit has brought Zimbabwe under intense international scrutiny. Human rights organizations are closely monitoring the situation, and international media outlets are reporting on the political climate and potential human rights violations. The international community is deeply concerned about Zimbabwe's human rights record, with calls for the government to ensure the safety of protesters and respect freedom of assembly. The summit provides a platform for international pressure. Zimbabwe, eager to improve its international standing, will be sensitive to criticism from the global community. International attention can influence the Zimbabwean government's actions, encouraging restraint by law enforcement agencies. However, excessive pressure can also backfire, potentially leading to a defensive response from the government. The international community's role is crucial, as it must balance its concerns with the need for constructive engagement. Section 5. The summit's aftermath. The SADC summit in Zimbabwe represents a pivotal moment for the nation. The summit's outcome will have significant implications for regional politics and will influence Zimbabwe's trajectory. The success of the summit will depend on several factors, including the level of political stability during the event and the government's respect for human rights. The outcomes will also shape SADC's role in the region. The summit presents both challenges and opportunities for Zimbabwe, testing the government's commitment to regional stability and human rights. The aftermath of the summit will reveal much about Zimbabwe's future and will impact its relationship with SADC and the international community.